we have a guest in the house, so I need you guys to give him a little bit more than that. Are you guys excited for Pastor Micah? Come on. Well, hey, real quick, I'll give you guys a little background. Pastor Micah and I actually met on Instagram. I know that sounds like a weird dating story, right? Like we met on Instagram, and it was just love. But we actually met on Instagram. I found their Cultivate their student site, looking through things and just checking it out. And I had messaged them about something that they were doing. And then when we were at Motion, our very first year, I think our second year, I was standing outside of Subway, and he just came walking down. It was like, oh my gosh, there he is. Like we've been talking on Instagram, and now I see him. I'm gonna meet him. But no, I'm very excited. A few months ago, Pastor Micah gave me my very first chance to guest speak, and I got to go out there and check out what they're doing with Velocity students. They have an awesome group out there. His wife, Lindsay, is here tonight, and they're expecting, so give it up for them. Yeah? So they're running some awesome things. They have a great student ministry out there. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to stand to your feet. I want you to yell and scream and get excited. Can you stand up just one more time and give it up for Pastor Micah? Come on, guys. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Check, check. Check, check. Okay, here we go. Here it is. All right. If you're going to be a pastor, you got to learn how to use a microphone. Hey, I'm so excited to be here. I'm beyond stoked that I'm even on this stage right now, and I'm honored and just excited. And I love you, Pastor Adam. There you are. I love you so much. I just love you. I love you. Me and Adam are just listen, I don't know if I have a closer bond with another youth pastor like I have with Adam. We've both just made this really weird. So it's fine. It's whatever. Sorry, Lindsay. She's my wife. She's over there. No, I'm just kidding. No, my amazing, beautiful wife is with me. She is pregnant with my incredible kid. And it is a girl. So her name is Eden Grace. So maybe I can bring her down soon and let you guys meet her. But right now, she's in my wife's stomach, so can't do that right now. Let's hope that doesn't happen in the next 30 minutes, okay? So I'm super excited to be with you guys, and like I said, I love Pastor Adam and Emily. And let's just give some honor where honor is due to your youth pastor. He slaves over this youth ministry. He loves you guys so much. And speaking of relationships, don't you guys just hate that one person that they act like they like you? But they don't really like you. They act like they like you, but it's just really not there. Okay, and see, here's the deal. I've been in youth ministry probably about 3 years, okay, give or take. And one of the things that I've noticed about y'all's generation, one of the things that I've been kind of looking at is just the kind of relationships you guys have. And I've got 3 different relationships that I've kind of noticed that I've seen students kind of walk through, people y'all's age, even people my age, walk through this. I'm talking like I'm old. I'm 25. I actually turned 25 this past week. Happy birthday to me. Anyway, but the first kind of relationship I want to talk about is the ones that only want you for what you can give. Y'all know that? Y'all kind of encountered that before? Right? How many of you have encountered that this week? They only love me for what I can give them. They only love me for what I can do for them. I had this friend in high school, and anytime he wanted to hang out, it was only for one reason, and that was so I could drive him around places. Because he couldn't drive. Okay, so he was like, hey, man, want to go to the mall? I'm like, yeah, dude, let's go to the mall. And he's like, oh, by the way, I got to go to 5 other places before we go there. If you could drop me off to those places for a few minutes, and then we'll go to the mall. But he only wanted to hang out with me, to drive around to random places. He was using me. I was like, God. And so the second one is they're not really committed to you. They're really just friends, right? Maybe you heard somebody coughing like y'all are trying to kind of calling somebody out. Okay, maybe you got somebody you want to date or something, or you think they're cute or you think they're pretty or whatever, and you want to date them, but they just want to be friends. They just want to be friends. Or maybe you've been the third wheel on a date where people are like that, and you're just like, for the sake of God, just date each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all over each other. They're like this the whole date. You know what I'm saying? But they're not dating. We're not boyfriend or girlfriend. Don't even call us that. Don't even do that. Okay, we're not Facebook official. Let me raise a hand. How many of y'all are on Facebook? How crazy is that? How many of y'all are on Instagram? All of you. How many of you are on Snapchat? All of you. That's crazy to me. Anyway, but back in my day, maybe 5 years ago, it was Facebook official. Okay, when you were dating somebody, you were Facebook official, and that meant it was real. Okay, that meant it was a real relationship. Okay, now you guys are waiting for your boyfriend or your girlfriend to hold out a sign, like at the end of your driveway saying, "Be my GF" or "Be my boyfriend." You know what I'm saying? So I can take a picture of it and put it on Instagram so everybody can see it. Hashtag, I got a boyfriend now, I got a girlfriend now, whatever. But they just want to be friends, right? They don't want to be fully committed to you. Or they just like you for what you can give them. They just like you for that Snapchat. That just got kind of hairy there. Or they act like they like you in private, but they don't really like you in public. Or they like you in private, but then when you're around their friends, they're just kind of like, you just stay over there. It's just kind of like, come on, man. Has anybody in this room encountered that kind of relationship before? And so tonight, here's the deal. This is not a relationship dating message. This is not a relationship dating message, okay? So what I want to kind of talk to you guys about is this, is the fact that how you see your earthly relationships, how you see your friends, how you see your earthly relationships, sometimes that translates over to how you see your relationship with Jesus. Because see, our culture has told us it's okay to have relationships like that are about this deep, or super shallow. So you don't go any deeper than the surface level. And our culture has told us that that's okay, but there comes a point in every relationship, right, where you have to define the relationship, right? There comes a point in all three of these that I listed where you have to sit down with the person and say, okay, what are we? Where are we going? How can we take this to the next level? How can we go a little further with this, and not in a bad way, but what are we? Are we friends or are we not friends? Are we dating or are we not dating? Are we going out or are we not going out? You know what I'm saying? It's confusing, and you're messing with my emotions. Okay, and I see students in even in my student ministry where I'm like, y'all are messing with my emotions. Gosh, stop. Okay, and so tonight, here's the deal. Jesus wants to challenge the relationship tonight. Jesus wants to ask you that tough question, what are we? Jesus wants to ask you, what are we? Where are we going? What does this look like for the future? Because if your relationship with Jesus is just like your relationships with your friends on earth, maybe not a boyfriend-girlfriend kind of situation, but maybe just your friends. I just want them for what they can give me. I just want to hang out with them when it's on my own time. If I ask you honestly, truly, what does your relationship with Jesus look like? It might look like that. Because our perception of what relationships are supposed to look like can often look like how our relationship with Jesus is. It's just super tense right now. Because I know I'm preaching about something that you guys really do encounter. And here's the deal. I understand a time when I had to actually define the relationship with my wife. When we were dating, okay, Lindsay likes to hike, okay? She likes to walk. So I took her on this date. We had probably been talking for about a month, maybe, okay? She knows where I'm going with this. She's getting, oh my gosh, I can't believe this story. Anyway, so I took her to the park, okay? We start walking around the park, just strolling, just hanging out. It's all good. And I'm thinking, you know what? I got this in the bag, okay? She likes me. I know she does. But I just hadn't told her yet, okay? I know she likes me. So we go out to the car, we're about to leave, and, I give her, a goodbye hug. I'm like, hey. And she's like, hey. And then I give her a little, I give her a little kiss on the forehead. Okay. I just kissed the mic. So whoever had this mic before me, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that was weird. Y'all will never let me come back and speak to this place again. But anyway, so I'm sitting there. I give her a hug. I give her a kiss on the forehead, and I say, I really like you. And she says back, she says, thanks. This is a true story. She said, thanks. And I'm like, I just poured my heart out basically to you, and you say thanks. Okay? She really wasn't that into me, okay? But later on, my boyish charm and my beard caught her in the grips. You know what I'm saying? That love grip. Don't ever say that to a girl. That was weird already. Okay, but here's the deal. Jesus wants to challenge the relationship tonight. He wants to take this thing a little deeper. He wants to take this thing to the next level. And here's the deal. In Matthew 26, 69 through 75, says this, meanwhile, Peter was sitting outside the courtyard, and a servant girl came over and said to him, you were one of those with Jesus the Galilean. And here's the deal. Before this even happened, Jesus had a conversation with his disciples, and he said, hey, some of y'all are going to deny me later. All his disciples were all like, no, Jesus, we love you. How many of you guys in this room would say, I love Jesus? See, all these dudes, all 12 of these disciples told Jesus, no, we love you. Like, we love you more than anybody else. We would die for you. Like, we love you. And at another point in the Bible, Jesus actually talks to Peter, and he's asked Peter, hey, Peter, do you love me? And Peter's like, yeah, I love you. No, but do you really love me? Yes, he asks him like 3 times, do you love me? Peter's like, yeah, I love you, Jesus. I'm in this, Jesus. And Jesus tells Peter, before this situation happens, he says, when the rooster crows, you'll have denied me 3 times. And in this situation, he says, Peter was sitting outside the courtyard, and a servant girl came over to him and says, you were one of those with Jesus the Galilean. Peter says, and Peter denied it in front of everyone. I don't know what you're talking about, he said. Denies it. Later, out by the gate, another servant girl noticed him and said to those standing around, this man was with Jesus of Nazareth. And again, Peter denied it, this time with an oath. This time he's serious. I don't even know this man, he said. A little later, one of the other bystanders came over to Peter and said, you must be one of them. We can tell by your Galilean accent. Peter swore, a curse on me if I'm lying, but I don't know this guy. I don't know him. And immediately the rooster crowed. And then suddenly Jesus' words flashed through Peter's mind, before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times, and even that you even know me. And he went away, weeping bitterly. How insane is that? And Jesus, in this situation, is almost, when Jesus asks Peter, do you love me? He's almost asking Peter, where is this going? What are we doing here? Do you really love me? Do you really love me? And here's the deal, guys. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not asking you to date Jesus. This is not that kind of thing, okay? It's not, don't get weird. But I'm asking you to take that next step of faith to say, you know what? I've been a Christian for a little while, but it's time for me to start learning a little bit more. It's time for me to start digging into some discipleship, finding somebody to, and actually putting yourself under Pastor Adam and saying, look, teach me more. What can I do for you? How can I serve? How can I be of better help here at Cultivate? And here's the deal. The challenge for tonight is to find the relationship between you and Jesus. Are you a fully committed follower? Or are you just kind of a fan of Jesus? Are you fully committed in this to win it, ready to go? Or are you just a fan of Jesus? Number 1, and that's my first point. Are you a fan of Jesus, or are you just a follower of Jesus? And here's the deal. Hey, is there anybody that's an Alabama fan? Any Alabama fans in here? Come on, Roll Tide. Come on, somebody. How many Auburn fans we got in the room? War Eagle. See, Here's the deal. I can say both of them because I don't care. I'm not a football fan. I'm sorry. I know that's the biggest sin in the South. I was a band nerd in high school. How many band nerds we got in the room? Come on, somebody. I played the drums. I'm a band nerd. Okay, but yeah, I know we got to go to the football games and got to watch football. But anyway, I was all about the band. I didn't really, and so like when people start talking about sports, I cannot relate. Not even a little bit. I'm like, yeah. And the other day, this really happened. I walked up into a situation where people were talking about sports. I was trying to relate, trying to be cool. And I said this. I didn't mean to. I knew I was wrong, but I was like, yeah, did y'all see LeBron make that touchdown last week? I mean, they're like, dude, that's basketball. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I meant somebody else. I don't know what I was thinking. And they were like, okay. Anyway, but here's the deal. It's funny to watch fans talk about their team, right? Because here's the deal. Because they're talking about like they were in the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, our defense, they just wasn't there last week. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't happening. And so they're talking like they were there, like they were on the field playing, like it's their team, like our defense. I'm like, dude, it's not. What are you talking? And then you got the Alabama fan over here, and he's like, yeah, if they just put me in the game, I'd have made all them touchdowns. We'd done a bit of deep B-dubs sucking on some hot wings, you know what I'm saying? They should just put me in the game. You know what I mean? And so, this is just my southern accents. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. This is what I hear. That's the situation I see when people start talking about sports because I cannot relate. Some of y'all like sports. That's cool. I'm just kind of like, eh. So, anyway, but they're talking like they were in the game, like it's their team, like they were there, like they put on the pads and play. And I'm like, dude, you weren't there. You were at home eating Cheetos on your couch, watching it on TV. Like you weren't there. You didn't put in the work. You didn't run those plays. You didn't have the pads on. You didn't show up to practice early one morning ready to go in the game. That's not your team. But see, if they were asked to do that, they'd probably go, oh, no. No, not me. That's not for me. They would rather sit on a couch in their living room watching it on TV. And the only reason they even know the plays is because it was TiVoed. And here's the deal. Tonight, here's the point I'm trying to make. Is that tonight, maybe that next step of faith is actually putting the pads on and getting in the game. Maybe the next step of faith is actually owning this as Cultivate student ministry. This is my student ministry. How can I serve? How can I, Pastor Adam, can I straighten the chairs up? What do you need me to do? Being a servant, having a servant's heart is just one of the ways that you can be a fully committed follower of Jesus. Not just a fan, not just liking the idea of being a follower of Jesus. And number two, and being a fully committed follower means we got to make tough decisions. We got to make some tough decisions. There's a story in the Bible where a rich man comes to Jesus and he says, Jesus, what's it going to cost to follow you? What's it going to cost to follow you? And Jesus says to him, he says, first you got to go home, sell everything you got, and then come follow me. Then we'll talk. And it says the man went away sad. Here's the deal, the dude was rich. He already had everything. He was just walking up to Jesus and he's just like, I want this. Everybody else has got this. This is the one thing I don't have. I want the Jesus thing. See, instantly, Jesus is like, this guy's just a fan. And so, I'm not asking you to go home and sell your Xbox. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not telling you to do that. But there might be some things you might have to walk away from. Because here's the deal, this guy had everything and he just wanted to add Jesus to the list. But the problem with that is Jesus doesn't want to just be something on the list. He wants to be a part of everything on the list. He wants to be a part of your social media account. He wants to be a part of your friends. He wants to be a part of everything that you're doing in your life, not just somewhere at the bottom. Not just that 1 hour a week situation. Not just, am I making sense to somebody in here? He wants to be a part of everything in your life. Not just a 1 hour a week situation where you come in on Wednesday night, you get your church thing, you punch your church card, and then you go to school and you're a completely different person. Because see, that's how culture wants you to see relationships, and that's how the enemy wants to see your relationship with Jesus. Just a simple little, just punch your card. Yeah, you went to church. You're good. You're good. You can go back and be how you were. You're good. You went to church. You went to church on Sunday morning. You went to church on Wednesday night. You're good. And never take it any further. That's what the enemy wants. That's what the enemy wants for our lives. And we've got to realize to make the tough decisions to when we walk out of this room, we're a different person. We're made alive. And here's the deal. Jesus, he wants a relationship with you. He wants to walk with you daily, and he loves you so much. He's called you more than a conqueror. He's got so much more for you than that. And it may be that you have to walk away from that party. It may be that you got to walk away from some friends. It may be that, hey, girls, there's a guy you may need to delete their phone number. You may need to block them. Guys, same for you. Same goes for you. There might be a girl that you need to block. Might be a phone number right now at the end of service. You need to delete their phone number and block them and tell them, hey, look, I'm on a different track here. And so, if the band could go ahead and come up. How do we do this? How do we make these tough decisions? You got to raise your standards. Turn to the person next to you and say, raise your standards. Raise your standards. Raise your standards. And what does that look like? See, here's the deal. We can't be perfect. We can't be perfect. Pastor Micah, are you asking me to be a perfect person? Are you asking me to do everything right? No, I'm not asking you to do that. You're never going to be able to do that. But in fact, I'm asking you tonight to change the way you see your relationship with Jesus. Because it's not about what Jesus can do for you. It's not about what Jesus can do for you. In fact, it's about what you can do for Jesus because of what he's already done for you. Because of what he's done on the cross. Because of what he did when he carried his cross up that mountain. And he gave his life for you. Here's the deal. And number 3 says, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. If everybody could just stand for a second. If I could have you just lock arms with the person next to you. You can't do this alone. Look at the person next to you on your right. Tell them, I can't do this without you. Turn to the person on the other side. Say, I can't do this without you. In Luke 9:23, it says this. Listen right here, students. Then he said to them all, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me daily. Listen right here. This is good. Don't miss this. When Jesus was carrying his cross, there was a man that came out of the crowd because Jesus had just gotten flogged. He just got whipped beyond recognition. He was tired. He was carrying this cross. And it says he stumbled and fell, and a man came out of the crowd and helped him pick up his cross and carry it. Guys, listen, you can't carry your cross on your own. You've got to have somebody in your life to help you do it. You can't do it alone. That might look like getting in a small group, getting in a student small group. That might look like serving on a team here at Cultivate. Whatever you do, you got to do it together. You know, when I was your age, I was going to this small church, and everybody in this youth group we all went to the same school. We all had the same problem, like, how do we overcome the temptations of everyday life at school? Like, how do we do this? And our youth pastor said, you got to do it together. You all go to the same school. So why? How many of y'all go to the same school? Most of y'all go to different schools? Okay. All right. Find those people. Hey, listen, right here. Find those people. And tell them, I can't do this without you. I'm really trying to do this Jesus thing. Hey, listen. Okay. You're all at the same school. It's all good. I'm really trying to do this Jesus thing, but I can't do it alone. It's time to start getting connected with the people that's going the same direction as you are. Y'all been talking all month about True North, right? Pastor Adam's been doing a really great job. Killing it. So what direction are you going, and who are you taking with you? And who are you following? Maybe you're here tonight and you say, you know what, I don't know about this Jesus thing, but I'm willing to give it a try. Maybe you're here tonight and you say, you know what, I gave my life to Christ before and I'm just not living the way that I should, or I'm just not in the place that I need to be. If that's you here tonight with every head bowed and every eye closed, Jesus wants to give you an opportunity to define the relationship. Just define the relationship. And on the count of 3, if you would just slip up your hand and say, I want to accept Jesus in my heart. I want to do this. I'm all in. I'm not doing it halfway anymore. I'm not just going to be a fan or just liking the idea of Jesus, but really digging deep and going further in my relationship with Him. And if that's you, I just want you to slip up your hand on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on, hands all over the room. Come on, somebody. That's awesome. Real quick, if you could just repeat this prayer after me. Jesus, we love you. We thank you for everything that you're doing in our lives. I ask you to come into my heart, live with me forever, and I will follow you all the days of my life. I'll give you everything. In your name we pray. Amen.